After a couple days break, the Phoenix Suns are back in 17.5-point favorites against the tanking Utah Jazz. Needless to say, it could be a statement game, but will they do it? We're going to talk about it on the other side of this. Psychos and sickos unite for a Don't Get Out Tanked edition of the PHNX Suns Pregame Show, brought to you by our friends over at Gila River Resorts Casinos. You do you. At Gila River Resorts Casinos, visit playatgila.com for more details. Gil and Steven out there at Mortgage Matchup Center. So I'm Eric, that's Espo, and the Freckle Mamba behind the Mac, making all the magic happen, and we're holding it down for you on a Saturday night with no other basketball game going on for any Valley teams.
No other sports at all.
This is the most important thing happening right now. It's Suns and it's Jazz, Espo.
That's why we're in this studio and feeling extremely awkward.
It is very strange, I will say.
It is weird to be at a table. Hello to Boom Shakalaka, Lonnie, Daniel, Kara, the whole crew. Glad to have you in here. Hit that like button. Let's talk some Suns Jazz, the highest of games that you could have. The most on the line possible.
I mean, yeah, this is the pinnacle of sports. Pretty much is what we're talking about.
Forget the playoffs. This is the most important game of the year.
I mean, we've talked about playoff-like atmosphere. I'm sure that's going to be what it is at Mortgage Matchup Center. Yes. I know we joke, Espo, about how important this game is, and obviously the single most important basketball game going on for any Valley sports team probably all year. But if you check out our Suns must-win meter, I don't know if we're really being tongue-in-cheek, because it's a 10 all the way across the board. Even Steven is going with a 10, not because it's a big game, Espo, but it's a game you cannot afford to lose.
Yeah, no Shia LaBeouf here, not even Stevens. But look, I mean, this is a game that if you lose, it is, quite frankly, the most embarrassing loss of the year, no matter how you wind up losing it, because this is a team that is actively tanking in a way that it has forced the league to consider changing the tanking rules altogether. Like, there's actual proposals. If you lose to this team who's benching what little talent they have left in fourth quarters, it is pathetic. Tonight is a must-win of the highest order, simply because of who you're playing, how much time you have left, and the fact that the Clippers stormed back to get a game last night and stay within 3.
Yeah, against another tanking team that literally purposefully missed 2 free throws in order to lose that game. You got to beat this tanking team, which, by the way, the Jazz are on the second night of a back-to-back, traveling from Denver to, of course, here in Phoenix. And last night against the Nuggets, they held a 10-point lead against Denver with 5:29 remaining. They ended up losing by 6. They didn't play 2 starters for the entire fourth quarter. And their closing lineup had people that I would say most Suns fans probably aren't going to recognize. So, Espo, it's an important game, and they got an important player back. Let's talk about the injury report presented by our friends over at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've had a serious injury, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website at husbandandwifelawteam.com. We'll have updates on Mark Williams and Dillon Brooks here in a second. They are out tonight. Amir Coffey and Haywood Highsmith are also continuing to be out. However, no Ryan Dunn on the injury report for the Suns after missing last game with right groin soreness. So we have Ryan Dunn back. Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen returned last game. They were completely off the injury report. So your wing depth got a lot better today.
Yes, I still am waiting for the full complement of wing depth, but you've got enough of it tonight where it shouldn't be a problem against Utah. Hopefully Ryan can slip right back into how he was playing those handful of games before he went out with the injury. It was a shame to see him get hurt when he was finally finding his stride with this group, but he should have every opportunity afforded to him tonight to be able to have an impact.
Yeah, and you mentioned we're still waiting for the full reinforcements. Yes. Dillon Brooks and Mark Williams. Looks like a return is around the corner for them. This is Jordan Ott talking about how they were able to get into some basketball activities earlier today.
They played 5-on-5 today, so that was helpful. See how they react. This is the first time they got to play 5-on-5 and up and down. So good start. Everything's heading in the right direction. See how it goes on that road trip.
After last practice, Espo, we talked about how neither Dillon Brooks or Mark Williams had done 5-on-5 yet, and Jordan Knott said we have to see that before we get them back. Plus, hearing maybe what Dillon Brooks said out at his event over at Arizona Mills the other day, it feels like we are looking at the next couple of games to get 2/5 of the Suns starting lineup back.
Yeah, he told Cam Cox Friday night at his event that he'd be back next week. So I think we've all felt pretty good and confident that Dillon Brooks was coming back on this trip. We'll see how Mark's foot reacts, because that's always what we hear.
Yeah.
How does the body react after 5-on-5? That's when they'll make determinations. I don't think we see him on Monday on the first half of a back-to-back. My guess is if you're going to get one of them or both of them back, it's going to be Tuesday, that second game of the back-to-back. I believe it's against Orlando that you're going to play. So if you're going to see him early, it's going to be then. Then you've got Thursday and Sunday. So we'll see how it pans out. But the quicker you can get him back, the easier you're going to be able to figure out what your rotation looks like.
Yeah, and when you look at the end of this season, I think a lot of people in here begging for a win against the Jazz kind of paints this picture of you got to end this regular season strong, because the Suns are currently in the midst of their worst stretch. Even despite that win against Toronto, they have not lost this much over an extended period of time all season, right? So get a little bit of good mojo going into that Memphis game on Monday, a back-to-back, and then going on and finishing the season strong against some stronger opponents. These are probably the two easiest opponents, and this is probably the single easiest opponent that you're going to play for the rest of the season.
Look, you've lost 6 of 7. You are a team that's trying to figure out who you are. Yes, there's injuries that have caused some of that, but most of it is self-inflicted in terms of the way you've played at ends of games against really good teams. Now you have to prove, okay, yeah, we've lost 6 of 7, but we will not play with our food. We will beat the teams we need to, and we're going to figure out how to win in those fourth quarters against good teams. Because right now, you're in the home stretch. 9 games, including tonight, left. Then a play-in game, at least 1, if not 2, waiting for you. You got to figure it out and figure it out quick.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and get into our credit check presented by our friends over at Mountain America Credit Union, the official credit union of the Phoenix Suns. I know when we say, okay, the Jazz are bad, right? They've only picked up 8 wins on the road this year. They're tanking. They're actively trying to lose. I get it. That does not mean that they don't have some good players on the court and some players that have put up some pretty good numbers. Kyle Filipowski put up 25 points last night. He is an absolute bucket. Kind of presents a little bit of a matchup problem for the Suns as a shooting big. Cody Williams has really come into his own. Once this tanking stretch, that's brother of the Thunder's Jalen Williams. He had 24 points last night. And then rookie Ace Bailey is certainly somebody to watch. He has been an athletic dynamo this entire season, but really putting it together as a full package. He is also kind of a matchup nightmare for the Suns without Dillon Brooks. So I don't think this is by any means, Espo, going to be like the Suns cakewalk into a victory and it's the easiest thing ever. But the Jazz in the fourth quarter will be an easy team. I think the first 3, it's actually going to be an interesting game.
Look, it should be a cakewalk. There should not be an excuse here, because the Jazz are atrocious defensively. That's what this comes down to. You should be able to get whatever you want offensively, and if you're hitting your threes at a decent clip, this should not be a competition. Now, the Jazz can score. They're a top 10 team in points per game this year and can put up numbers, as we saw in that game against the Nuggets with 129. But they are a team that does not shoot the 3 well. They're 26th in three-point percentage this year, and they're a team that's missing most of their bigs. So you got to find a way to rebound, hit your threes, and this should be an ass-kicking. But we've seen this team not do those things and wind up putting themselves in positions that they shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be basically eliminating all of your mistakes, right? How do you lose games to bad teams? You turn the ball over, you allow offensive rebounds, and you allow them to get in a rhythm and hit a bunch of their threes, which they can do. And without Dillon Brooks and Mark Williams, we've seen the Suns offense struggle a little bit. We've seen Jalen Green have a cold night. We've seen this team struggle in fourth quarters. But like you said, if you take care of business, I think stay on your P's and Q's defensively, you're going to be able to hit a level that this team just can't hit, even if they are trying to win. Because, yeah, maybe they pulled their best players for the end of the game yesterday against the Nuggets, but at the end of the day, like, Lauri Markkanen is not playing. Keontae George is not playing. Those are 2 all-star caliber players that aren't suiting up for the Jazz. Like, this is their B team, and then they're pulling their B team for their C team. in the fourth quarter, you should still be better than them no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, there's no excuse tonight. You've got to go out there and take care of your business. I don't think you have to play a perfect game. I think you can have some flaws. You just have to play well enough. And to your point, you've got to play tight defense. They're 26th in the league in three-point shooting. If you don't give them good looks, they're not gonna hit. Just play good defense tonight, which you've been known for at least for a majority of the year. Force some turnovers, and you'll be all right. I mean, that's the reality of it. And get this win, because the Jazz may actually be good when you see them the next time next year. So take advantage of them while they're not.
Yeah, look, let's go ahead and get into Steven's keys for a Suns victory tonight. Steven added a 10 on the must-win meter. Key number 1, keep tending to positive offensive habits of play. Key number 2, sharpness versus their off-ball movement. And key number 3, timely kill shots, 10-0 runs. Which one of those keys, Espo, stands out to you the most?
Positive habits of play on the offensive end. Like, you've just got to take care of business. You got to use this. This is a get-right game in multiple ways. Try to figure out things a little bit more on the offensive end of the ball. Book and Green trying to figure out how to operate together, operate at a high clip. You've got both Royce and Grayson back for the second game since they've come back. They need to find that rhythm and consistency shooting. It's all these things. This is a game about the Phoenix Suns and figuring out how to do the things that they need to, and it starts offensively.
Yeah, and just to clarify, because there's some comments in the chat, Jaren Jackson Jr. is out tonight. None of the stars for the Utah Jazz are playing tonight, unless you consider Kyle Filipowski a star. Then one of the stars is playing tonight. But let's talk about the stars for the Suns, Espo. I want you to close your eyes for a second, and I want you to imagine that I'm
giving you a lot of trust by closing my eyes.
I could just, put my fingers behind your head and give you bunny ears. I could do really whatever right now. I want you to imagine that we're in the postgame show, and I want to imagine a happy Espo. An Espo that's satisfied with the Suns' win. Okay. What has to happen in the game for happy Espo to be there postgame?
Hit your three-pointers, to a level that is, 35 to 40%. Wind up showing up and passing the ball, get that movement, hit the SPG line of 26 assists, and come out with a double-digit win. I know that you don't win anything for style points, but the fans need some goddamn style points. The team needs to feel a big win, an easy win for them, so they can rebuild that confidence. I know, they're confident, they're good. I get that, but every team needs a cakewalk every now and then to just feel good about themselves. And right now, the Phoenix Suns need that in the worst way, because fans are feeling a certain way. But when you lose 6 or 7, when you see the play-in and the playoff right around the corner, that doesn't feel good as a team either. They need a good win before they head out on the road.
Yeah, and I don't think you want to get into this idea of like you're waiting for Dillon Brooks and Mark Williams to be back to be happy again.
No.
Right? Like, you don't want to be saved by Dillon Brooks and Mark Williams. Now, we all agree that their ceiling and who they can actually be in the playoffs and the play-in is different when it is Mark Williams and Dillon Brooks out there on the court, but this is still a good team without them. Yeah. So if you are able to go out there and actually have a great team victory, it doesn't matter who you're against, you go back to that locker room and you feel good about the momentum that you're building, and you've got a back-to-back because the schedule makers hate you on Monday and Tuesday. Okay, we had a long break, we regrouped, we've lost, but we're putting that behind us. Go out there, take care of business today, take care of business on Monday, take care of business on Tuesday, 3-game winning streak, bring back Dillon Brooks and Mark Williams. This team is going to be feeling a lot better going into the play-in, where you're going to be playing another team, likely the Clippers, who has a lot of momentum right now.
Yeah, it's all about the big mo. You got to get that momentum, get it back. And look, there's no guarantee. Yeah, Mark and Dillon could come back, and them or somebody else could get injured right away. You got to go out there and say, hey, no matter who it is, like they did a lot this season, we can win. And it starts by putting a beating on the Jazz tonight. That's how you get that momentum. Mm-hmm. That's how you get something to start snowballing, and this team needs it in the worst way.
Well, you mentioned wanting to hit your three-point shots. Obviously, if the Suns do that, there are a couple of names they're going to look at, and this could be a revenge game for Grayson Allen, who's actually had some very good games against the Jazz so far in his career, 17.3 points per game, 51.8%, 35.6%, 85.9% modern splits. Modern splits separate 2-point percentage and 3-point percentage, not just field goal percentage. 4.1 assists per game, 1.4 steals per game, 149 three-pointers made, and 3.3 free throw attempts per game. That's Grayson Allen this season. And going up against the Jazz, we saw it last year. Or maybe was that 2 years ago, the buzzer beating three?
I think it was 2.
Yeah, sorry. Last year just completely erased from my memory.
It.
He's got the buzzer beating three. And if the Suns are going to be able to take care of business tonight, as much as you look at Devin Booker and Jalen Green, say you guys have to have a good game, a really great Grayson Allen game, and what is on averages one of the best seasons, if not the best season of his career, would be a very welcome sight.
Yeah, and one thing I want to see is those assists per game in this one in particular. I know he's been successful against the Jazz with that, but the Suns' offense is better when he's one of the initiators on offense, and it gives you multiple looks with Devin and Jalen out there, or Colin and Devin, or Colin and Jalen, whatever the case may be. When Grayson can be a facilitator, that helps open up things too, because then you got to respect multiple things with Grayson and his teammates, and it gives the chance of him getting better looks raises as well as his teammates. That's what I want to see. I need to see a ball handling night from Grayson to really unlock the entire offense.
Yeah, him and Jalen Green, and I mean, obviously Devin Booker as well, are the two best at putting the pressure on the rim. This is a Jazz team that does not have a traditional rim protector because, again, Walker Kessler is also out tonight. Like, you're not playing any of their starting lineup pretty much. So you can go and get to the rim at ease. And I think some of the things that this team has fallen into bad habits-wise is, live by the three, die by the three. And I get it, right? This is a good three-point shooting team, whether people want to accept it or not. In the modern NBA, you make up for a lot of things by hitting a bunch of threes. But I think this last game against the Nuggets, one of the most frustrating things was at the end of the game, you saw Jalen Green attack the basket because Nikola Jokic was there, and he knew that Nikola Jokic couldn't do anything about it. You need to see Jalen Green. You need to see Grayson Allen, Devin Booker, Colin Gillespie, Oso Iguodala. You need to see guys get down into the paint. Ryan Dunn, who's back tonight, get down into the paint and then collapse the defense and throw it out to some shooters so you're not making or taking difficult shots. I think that you can really have a solid game plan against this Jazz team. They're not good. I don't know how else to say it except for they're not good. Like, we've seen this team beat the crap out of good teams. We've seen them lose to bad teams. Like, you go up against the Bucks, who didn't have their starters, didn't have Giannis, sat Kyle Kuzma for the second half. He still found a way to lose. Like, that should be on their mind tonight and say, let's do the simple things right and not just say, all right, let's shoot a bunch of threes and hope the other team doesn't get hot.
Well, no, I mean, defensively is the big thing. You gotta play to the principles that got you here. And I think that having Ryan Dunn back tonight will help in that case, that you'll be able to do that. I mean, this is about forcing the Jazz into mistakes and limiting yours. And you shouldn't have a massive problem when it comes to this group. This is the kind of game where, like, you're the only one that can lose it. You lose by hurting yourself. The Jazz don't beat you in this kind of game. It's going to be fundamental flaws from the Suns if the Jazz have a shot in this one.
Yeah, and again, this is a Jazz team that was up 10 points on the Nuggets in the fourth quarter. A good Nuggets team that had Jokic putting up 33 and 15. Like, it was 135-129, but the Jazz were still up. So, again, you might be down at certain points in this game, right? You might be down at halftime. You might not be up by 15 the entire game, wire-to-wire victory like it was against the Toronto Raptors. Now, maybe, like, you definitely could do that, but if you're not, I don't think that's the end of the world. But when that final buzzer sounds and they don't pick up a win, that is going to be the end of the world for me. Freckled Mamba in the chat says, hoping for some big rookie minutes tonight. I think the lack of an interior presence really bodes well for Kaman Malawach to maybe be able to get a little positive momentum his way offensively. We've seen him hit a three recently. We saw him hold his own against Jokic. This is a much easier matchup tonight with Kyle Filipowski. And then, of course, Rasheer Fleming continues to be Rasheer Fleming.
It's going to be interesting. I want to take a step back there. You brought up the Nuggets game a lot, but then you go look at the game before that against the Wizards.
And they lost by
and they
23.
didn't. Yeah. I mean, they didn't lead at all in the first, or it didn't lead at all in this game, and only won one quarter, which happened to be the fourth quarter. In a game that essentially was a tank off. And they still,
again, it's
stumbled.
not a
like,
good team.
They're not good. They can have good stretches, but I mean, again, against Toronto, They didn't win a quarter until the fourth when Toronto sat everybody. They were up so.
And
big.
look at these scores, like 143 for Toronto.
Yeah.
Like the Suns should be able to easily walk into some points. AZBG says they are talking about Dillon when he's coming back. We had an update from Jordan Ott earlier today. Both Mark Williams and Dillon Brooks played 5-on-5, looking to see how they respond. It looks like they should both be back this week. If it's not Mark back this week, it feels like Dillon Brooks will be playing basketball for the Phoenix Suns sometime over the next couple of days. Starting lineup tonight, Espo, before we get into our bets, get out of here and then go over to our watch-along where you can all watch the game with us. Colin Gillespie, Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Royce O'Neal, and Oso Iguodala. I mean, no surprises,
It's
right?
not going to change till Mark and Dillon get back, and then we'll understand what the real starting lineup is for this team.
Yeah, and I mean, Royce O'Neal revenge game as well, possibly.
You think they really give a crap
About the Jazz? I mean, when Royce was there, like they were a playoff team.
Yeah, but
right?
At that point, you look across, not the same uniforms, not the same people. That team sucks. Like I don't think this is. I don't know that there's much of a revenge factor as much as, hey, we just want to look good against anybody right now because it's been so difficult.
Yeah, playing in the Valley jerseys tonight, so they will look good, but will they look good on the court? Well, I know what doesn't look good. That's our pregame standings, which I hit a bet, which is great. And let's get into our pregame picks presented by our friends over at Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the Bet365 app today. Use code PHNX365 when you sign up. I predicted Oso Iguodala 15-plus points in the last game, and I'm going a simple one-legger again today. I'm taking Colin Gillespie 25-plus points at a plus 1,200. This gets me $130 back on my $10 bet, and in part because Colin Gillespie is closing in on the Phoenix Suns single-season three-point record. I don't know if he breaks it tonight. I do believe it's possible. I think he is 7 or 6 away. I think 6 away, so he could, right? I think he's going to be I think he's going to be gunning for it, right? And so I think he's going to put up a bunch of points. He's going to be mad that he only scored in the first 2 seconds of last game, and he's going to win me a bet today. I can feel it.
Highly doubt it. He's going to screw you like he did me. Let's take a look at my bet, Erickson. This is
Colin Gillespie, 25-plus points.
Royce O'Neal first basket.
Wow, I like that.
1,000.
Plus 1,000's good. I like that.
This is an easy. It's done at the beginning. I don't have to worry about it past then. So.
Well, I do think that Royce is certainly the type of guy that if he has a shot, he's going to shoot it. That is 100% a fact. So I could totally see him do that. Oh, there's something going on out there.
Oh, they're just shooting.
Okay, I thought maybe something happened to U of A.
Halftime in U of A is losing.
Gotcha. Ayrton, what are you putting your money on tonight?
Got a little 4-leg parlay. Jalen Green, 20-plus points. Devin Booker dishing the ball, 7-plus assists. Colin Gillespie hitting 2 threes today, not 6 yet. Grayson Allen hitting 3 threes tonight. That is all plus 400 with a 30% profit boost.
And for the first time, let's get into what Gil had bets for, but he's not here to read them. We'll read it for him. He's taking Colin Gillespie 5-plus assists, Oso Iguodala over 8.5 points, and Phoenix Suns over 118.5 points, plus 390 with a 30% profit boost. Yeah, that over 118.5 points. That is probably going to hit tonight because this team cannot guard. Suns 17.5 point favorites, Espo. Do they cover?
No.
Yeah,
no,
that's a really big line.
They don't cover. I think they win by like 10 or 11 points. I think I may have picked them higher, but I have a feeling it'll be that. One thing to watch for tonight, though, with 8 points, Devin Booker passes Chris Mullin for 86th all-time on the NBA scoring list. So
wonder where he can get this season. Right?
Yeah, I haven't looked that far. I do know that he's ahead of Nikola Jokic, but it's not that much of a gap. Nikola Jokic is 88th. He's one spot behind Devin Booker.
I would have not guessed that, honestly.
It's interesting.
Let's start a dialogue. Charles Barkley, we got to start a dialogue over here. Any other final thoughts on Suns Jazz? A 10 on the must-win meter.
No thoughts on the game, but have you watched any of the Elite Eight pre and halftime and post game?
Charles Barkley.
Charles looks like a freaking Bond villain if he wore colorful things instead of the typical black.
Should we just should we rebrand to a halftime show for Arizona Purdue right now?
No, I just needed to make my Charles Barkley comment.
He does. It's so weird seeing them do. I know they always do the college basketball, but it's so weird them not doing like any NBA games this year, and then all of a sudden they're doing a bunch of college games.
It's like if you put me on a college post game show right now. I don't know crap about college basketball. I don't pretend to, but if you gave me enough money, I sure as hell would talk about it.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we will be talking about this game, and we'll be watching some of the other games as well. We got a multi-TV set up over on this channel. I know there's a lot going on tonight, so we appreciate everybody choosing to spend their Saturday nights with us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on your way out. Head on over to our watch along. We will be talking basketball and other sorts of things. You can follow the show at PHNX_Suns. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.